What's going on, everybody? Man, this is your boy OTR Mic Drop here for Over the Ropes, Beyond the Ropes. Like I said, this is your boy OTR Mic Drop.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your boy OTR Trey, aka Treyway, aka Money in the Bank Trey. You dig?
Yeah. I guess that's what the money do rag for.
Oh yeah, man. I don't get to pull it out that much, so yeah. Shit, might as well since it's fitting.
Facts. We
down one member of the crew.
So what we got today, man? What you got to hit me with?
Well, I know we're a little late, but we gonna do a quick recap of Money in the Bank because there's been some fallout since the event. So we'll go ahead and tackle that first. And then after that, I'll just throw some stuff at you, or we may just come across some stuff while we're talking. And then I got some AEW stuff to throw in there at the very end.
All right.
Nothing major. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about it. Where is it? Right here. Money in the Bank. How'd you feel about the overall event?
All my winners won, basically. For the Money in the Bank. Io Sky, she got the Money in the Bank, and Damian Priest got Money in the Bank.
Yeah, oh yeah, go on our YouTube channel.
So it was straight. It was a pretty decent.
I put up a YouTube short of when JD called into the stream to brag about being right about Damian Priest. So y'all can go ahead and check that out on our YouTube channel.
Yeah. Yeah, check that out. Watch me go ham,
I'm glad I ain't bet no money on Money in the Bank. I'll be broke as shit. I think I got one pick right. Hey. And that was Gunther.
I think. True.
Next time I'm gonna just follow my instincts because my initial pick was Io. I talked myself into Zelina.
Mm-hmm.
I talked myself into her. Now I never thought Priest was going to win it. That was all you. I thought Logan was going to win it, or LA Knight. And LA Knight,
oh yeah,
he came quick. Like he came close to looking like he was going to do it. Just like Zelina came close.
Yeah.
So, but did you see Trish got her nose broke for real? You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was crazy. But yeah, so let's go ahead and start out with the men's Money in the Bank because that's what opened the show. So
yes, so your guy Damian Priest won. It was a good Money in the Bank, man. I felt like that this one had one of the best competitions. You know what I'm saying? Just high flying. We've seen a lot of moves from people that we really wouldn't see a lot of moves from. Although the Logan Paul and Ricochet spot was drastic.
Bro, it looked like that fight they was having backstage. That shit looked real for a second.
It did. It really did. Until I saw that nobody hit each other in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ricochet and Logan going to be a mean feud. We're going to talk about that a little later. Well, yeah, man. I thought that. See, Jay not here with us today. I really wish he was, so he could give us his take because he was making such a big deal about the match being full of mid carders, and I was
And
like,
I told him that nobody was going to challenge for a mid card title.
yeah. And honestly, I think I like the fact that it was a bunch of mid carders in it, because the Money in the Bank is supposed to help elevate people. If you already a main
Exactly.
eventer, you don't really need elevation. You just need to get into a good story. But a mid carder,
Right.
sometimes it takes something like a Money in the Bank or winning a mid card title or King of the Ring or doing something to elevate your character, to put you on another level. So I don't mind it. Shit, I wouldn't be mad if they started putting mid carders in the Money in the Bank going forward. Because
Exactly.
you gotta build people up, man.
Or even having a mid card win Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that, because the thing
Yeah.
is, the top people are always going to be on top. So there's really no need to shoehorn them in unless it makes sense for storyline purposes. It really doesn't.
Yeah.
There's really no need to have a Money in the Bank that has Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, because it's like they're all on the same level.
Exactly. And
So
soon, very soon, they're gonna win a championship, right? But when you look
exactly.
at a mid card, it's not always promised that they are gonna get a title shot for the biggest title in the company.
Hmm. Oh, speaking of the biggest title in the company, I sent this to you. I sent this to our group chat, and Roman has done it. He has officially passed Hulk Hogan with 1,042 days as champion. I'm trying to figure out where is that. Oh, it says here Roman Reigns is officially the longest world champion in the WrestleMania era by passing Hogan.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm trying to think. That puts him. So that would put him what, fourth or third on the list? We go through this. We go
Uh,
through this every single time. I need to just have it saved on my phone.
he was six. So with him passing Hogan, I want to say he's fourth.
Yeah. Well, I'll have our research department look that up, aka me, and then I'll confirm that. But going forward,
Ooh. Okay, so actually, Hulk Hogan held the title for 1,474 days. So Roman is fifth.
because Hogan has two up there, doesn't he?
Right. So he's beat Hogan first title run, I guess before the WrestleMania era.
Yeah.
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 Hold
So
on.
it said the WrestleMania era.
Mm-hmm. So Roman's fifth.
Shit, that's not bad.
Yep.
Shit, I could roll with that. But now, but anything else significant from the men's Money in the Bank before we move on?
Um. No, not really.
Okay, cool. So like let's go ahead and move on to the next match, which was the women's tag team championship match. So a lot of stuff. It's a lot going on with this women's tag match. Not only
Mm-hmm.
did Liv and Raquel win back their championships, Shayna Baszler turned on Ronda Rousey, which led to Liv Morgan hitting an Oblivion, which I'm actually a fan of. She probably got, if if uh if Bianca got my favorite women's finisher with the KOD, that Oblivion's pretty dope. That's up there for me too. And then the Twisted Bliss, I like that too.
It is.
But but she hit her
Yeah.
with an Oblivion, and then it's pretty noticeable to me that Ronda really fucks with Liv, because she didn't let Liv pin her like 3 times and 2 times to take a title off of
Mm-hmm.
her. So she must really rock with Liv.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ronda, Shayna turned on Ronda.
Definitely.
So how do you feel about that? How do you feel about the match, and then how do you feel about the turn? Were you expecting it?
Definitely. No, I don't think anybody expected the turn. Like that came out of nowhere, no storyline build, no nothing. Of course, if you really paid attention to it, like Shayna let Ronda take a lot of glorious pins for their team, so that could have played a part of it. But
Mm-hmm.
when you really take a deep dive, there was no like build up for that. So that was a good, I would say, a good curveball.
Yeah, and because a lot of people thought because they're supposed to be getting a women's tag belt because they unified the NXT and the women's tag and the WWE championship women's tag. So I was under the impression that they were going to give the new belts to Ronda and Shayna, and then have them go on this
Mm-hmm.
mean run, just destroying tag teams. But a story came out after. I don't know if Dave Meltzer said it or who. I forgot where I saw it, but they're saying that after this feud with Shayna, Ronda's going to be done. Like she's leaving WWE, she's not coming back. Um, she's gonna put her girl over, and that's what this feud is about, and that's why she turned on her the way she did out of nowhere.
Mm.
So if that is the case, and Ronda does leave, how do you think Ronda's? What do you think her legacy in WWE will be?
Are you asking me personally, or are you asking for like just a politically correct way?
However you want to answer, bro.
Oh man, personally, it is definitely not Hall of Fame worthy.
Because she's a what? How many
But
time champion? Like a four. She's like
it's
a
either two or
four-time
three
champion,
times.
ain't she?
Well,
Because she beat.
main champion, women's champion, she's a 3 or 4 time.
Okay, yeah, because she beat Nia for it. She beat uh Liv for it. No, she didn't. She didn't beat Liv. She beat Oscar for
No,
it.
no, she's won, or did she beat uh Alexa Bliss?
Yeah, she beat Alexa. She beat Nia. She beat Alexa. Yeah, she beat Nia because Alexa cashed in on her, so she only
And
had the
she beat
title.
Charlotte.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
she
and she
beat
beat
Charlotte.
Charlotte. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm mad. I'm mad that we didn't. We never got a Rhea Ronda feud. I think that would have been good.
It would have.
Hmm.
But
But
yeah,
yeah,
I mean she probably will get Hall of Famer, just seeing like the first
she'll get a
women
Hall of
to come
Famer
from
just because. Yeah,
UFC. Yeah. The UFC thing.
and because she's a multi-time champion, she's got the tag titles to add to her resume. Um,
Hmm.
she main evented WrestleMania.
Yep.
So yeah, Ronda's got a lot in the short time that she's been with WWE. Which when you think about it, when she was first introduced, that was in like what 2015,
Yeah, because The Rock
I think.
introduced her.
Yeah, The Rock introduced her, and then from then to now, it's been 6 years.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm surprised she stuck around this long.
Hmm.
I really wasn't expecting her to be a lifer like Brock Lesnar,
Right.
but I think her legacy. I think she'll go down as I wouldn't call her one of the greatest women's superstars ever, but look, if you go through her resume and what she's done and the impact that she's had, especially with getting other female MMA, even though Sonya was there first, let's give her respect. Sonya Deville
Hmm.
was there first, but after Ronda came, you got her crew, the four horsewomen in MMA. Then, if it's true that Amanda Nunez might come over, so I would say that she's had a hand in that. So
So
I
my
could say she's
question
probably
is,
top. I could say she's probably top 10,
yeah. So
maybe the
my
bottom
question
half.
is, do you think she ducking and dodging Amanda Nunez?
No, because I think that they would do her the way they let Brock do Cain Velasquez after
Mm.
he came back. Um, especially because Triple H, Triple H is he likes Ronda. I know Vince
Yeah.
loves her, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that they would put her in a position that she wasn't comfortable with. If they wanted her to come, if they wanted Amanda to come and just dominate Ronda again, for one, I don't even know if Ronda would go for that. but,
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so.
but but yeah, I think it's straight. Uh, did you see the? What do you think about the promo that Shayna cut on her on Raw? Well, she pretty much was just echoing everything that the fans have been saying about Ronda.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely just made Ronda babyface.
So, are you saying, oh, brother, did you see that knee that she hit her with, and she fell
Yeah.
through the ropes?
Yeah.
So, SummerSlam, that's gonna be the end of
Mm-hmm.
Ronda Rousey in WWE.
Mm, if this to put Shayna over, then it possibly could be, but I mean,
Or do
I'm
you
not
think that, or do you think this is going to be a multi-match feud?
multi-match.
Because if they
Nobody,
really, go
nobody's
ahead.
gonna tap. You get what I'm saying? So they might have a submission match at WrestleMania or something, or Royal Rumble, something. It's gonna be
The rumors are that she's not going to last all the way to WrestleMania.
oh, so it could be possibly something could be it then.
I think what they should do is if they want to get Shayna back to the way that she was in NXT or when she was in the Elimination Chamber and ran through everybody, is they need to just have her just like beat Ronda so bad in that match that she leaves the company. Like she
I
beat her
quit.
too bad. Like she beat her so bad that she doesn't that she can't return, like that type of shit.
Yeah. I mean, I quit match would definitely be it. And if you quit, you leave the company.
Mm. I'm trying to think. Ronda would really be putting her over if Ronda said I quit.
Exactly.
She would really put her over.
Exactly.
Which actually, I wouldn't be mad at her if she did that because if the plan is really for her not to come back, and I know people always say they never coming back, and then like 5, 6 years later they pop up,
Mm-hmm.
like. But I don't know if she's really leaving. I could see Ronda Rousey really being on some. All right, I did it. I had my kid. I came back. I won the title.
Mm-hmm.
I won the main title. I dropped it. I won the tag titles with my best friend. We had a great feud. She's a bigger star than she was when we started it. I'm good. Just
Yeah.
having to have some more kids, raise her family. So I can honestly see her being done for real after this. So I wouldn't be mad if they did have an I Quit match. I'm about to start listening to you, JD. We say the Oracle. Oracle.
Hey man.
But oh yeah, and then you see there goes a so now this focus has shifted over to Liv and Raquel, and they've been
Mm-hmm.
these the women's gauntlet tag matches and stuff.
Yeah.
So we want to see how that goes. But next up we had Gunther defeating Matt Riddle by submission.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a surprise. We didn't know if he was coming. I was actually surprised because we hadn't
Me
heard
too.
from this guy in a while. Didn't know if he was just going to let his contract run out or if he was just sitting out because of creative differences. But we had the returning Drew McIntyre come at the end of the match to set up a feud with Gunther going forward.
Mm.
And then, so what I'm thinking is number one, the match with Riddle and Gunther was great. Um, I think they worked really well together. I love the way that it ended because it ended realistically. Riddle was out. They had already Imperium had softened Riddle up and hurt his ankle,
Right.
and I love the way that they ended it because it was realistic. If you have somebody out there, for one, that wrestles with no shoes
Mm-hmm.
and who has a bad ankle that is heavily taped up, just drawing your attention to it, why would you not use that to end the match, which is what Gunther did?
Yep.
He tried to snap his ankle. He tried to snap the broken ankle or the bad ankle, and then
Mm-hmm.
Riddle just started screaming and tapped out. It was very realistic.
It was.
I hate when people have injuries and then they go through the match like they not hurt. It's the
And then their
most
opponent does
unrealistic.
not. Yeah, their opponent doesn't take advantage of that injury.
Like if y'all were fighting a real fight, that'd be the first thing you go after.
I'm gonna kick your ankle. I'm
Like
gonna kick it.
if Matt Riddle was fighting in the UFC with a bad ankle like that,
Yeah,
it'd be a wrap. They just be
I'm
trying to ground
shooting.
it down the whole time. Yeah,
Exactly, I'm shooting, and I just don't understand. Like him and Solo, they're fighting barefoot. Step on their toes.
exactly, exactly. Well, I mean, Randy Orton be doing it though. Randy Orton be stepping on
Exactly.
toes.
He step on
But
everything.
so, because actually, there was rumors that the returning male superstar was in fact going to be Randy Orton and not Gunther. I mean, not Drew McIntyre.
Right.
Now, I don't know how true that was, or that was just people just speculating because rumor has it that Randy has been cleared
Mm-hmm.
to wrestle after people thought that his career might be over because of that back injury. But
So
apparently, he's cleared.
this is where the speculation comes in, and a lot of people got to get corrected by this, right? Just
Mm-hmm.
because you're cleared to wrestle doesn't mean that they're in wrestling shape, right?
Facts, facts.
He hasn't had time to train. He hasn't had time to get in the ring. He's been medically cleared to say you can now wrestle, but
He's
it
been
doesn't
medically cleared to get physical. That's all that means.
exactly. So like anytime somebody gets cleared, like give them about 2 or 3 more months before you see him in the ring.
Exactly. He got to get it. He got to get back in regular shape. Then he got to get back in wrestling shape.
Exactly.
Then build a story for him when he comes back. When he comes back,
Mhm.
do you think that when Randy comes back, he automatically flips on Riddle, or do you think we get like a week or two, or maybe a month of them being buddy buddy, and then Randy turns into the snake that he is?
Mm. I think I think he'll jump back into it with Riddle for a little while, and then he'll go rogue.
Mm-hmm.
We got to get Viper Randy. We got to get Viper Randy. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I enjoy Mustache Randy being all friend and buddy buddy and stuff, but we got to get Viper Randy back.
And then, all right. So I believe I said this during the watch along that I was doing for Money in the Bank. I said that I looked it up because the Honky Talk Man had what was it, 354 days, I think, at
Yeah, and Gun
Boxing Camp.
and Gunther was on the path to pass
He,
him as
he was
far as long as
3 months away. He
yeah.
was at the time of Money in the Bank. He was 90 days. It's been 2 weeks now, so shave off,
Mm-hmm.
shave off that, and that's how far back he is. Now that would mean that in order for him to pass Honky Tonk Man, the match that they have at SummerSlam, Gunther would have to win,
Okay.
which is what I'm expecting. I do expect Drew to take that title off of him, but I expect Gunther to win the first match. Now the weird thing about Gunther is he's one of the only heels that actually wins clean in
Yeah.
pretty much all his matches.
Mm-hmm.
Imperium will walk out with him real quick, rip his jacket off, but other than that, they don't really get involved in his matches, which makes
True.
him which as much as I love Roman, I would say Gunther is probably the strongest heel in the company
Mm-hmm.
because he has Imperium, but he doesn't need them.
Exactly.
Like Roman didn't need the bloodline initially, but the longer he's been champ, the more he started relying on them. And I think that would you consider that lazy writing, or do you think that it just goes with the evolution of the character?
Evolution of the character.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it goes with the evolution of the character, meaning that I don't have to lift a finger if I don't have to because I have my backup to do it, right? So I don't have to try as hard. But then when you're looking at Gunther, he's supposed to be this big behemoth, right? Like one of the
Mm-hmm.
strongest accolade wrestlers of this modern era. So it makes sense for him to be a heel. Like, yeah, they'll do a couple outside the ring interferences, like just by jumping up there, but they don't attack
Yeah, they
anybody
don't
for
get it.
Gunther to win.
Yeah, Gunther
Now,
doesn't. He never wins, but and Gunther don't be cheating either.
right. So I could see that changing with Drew to where Imperium does get involved in some matches.
Hmm. That's what I was thinking because I was like, in order for this comeback from Drew to be as big as it needs to be, Gunther can't beat him clean.
Right. Yeah,
He can't beat him clean. So Imperium would have to get involved.
exactly.
Um, but yeah, so I think that that's going to be a great match.
Hmm.
I'm looking forward to it. Riddle is still involved in it because they literally just had a tag match on Monday. Riddle and Drew versus Imperium.
Yeah, and then
Um,
Riddle faces Gun. He faces Gunther on Monday.
is it a rematch?
Yeah, it's not for the title. I think he
Oh,
just
it's just a match.
yeah,
Okay.
and he
Yeah.
because he has Imperium bar from ringside.
Okay. All right. And then next match we had Cody Rhodes versus Dirty Dom with Rhea in his corner. Cody won this match, um, which wasn't surprising. I did believe that Brock Lesnar would get involved. We didn't see him until like till the Monday after.
Yeah.
Um, but this match was literally just to prove that Cody was healthy because
Hmm.
he ripped off his cast and he beat Dom. So that's all it was.
Yeah.
Nothing more, nothing less. I think it was good to give it was to help put Dom over because he's fighting another main event person, but then to
Hmm.
also get Cody over to say that I'm fully healthy and I'm ready for Brock. That's all that
Yeah.
was.
Yep.
Were you surprised that we didn't see Brock?
A little bit, but not really, because I feel like what you said was justified. That it was just to prove that Cody's healthy,
Hmm.
and because it was a member of Judgment Day, it would have to be a member of Judgment Day to interfere, not Brock Lesnar.
True. Yeah. So now let's get to the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. We touched on it earlier because we talked about who won.
Hmm.
But was there anything else that you uh, wanted to bring up or anything you noticed?
Not really. It was decent. Like it wasn't the best, but you had a couple other people um who had their moments. Like Becky Lynch, she spent most of her time outside the ring.
Mhm.
um, but I was just glad that EO won. Right, someone we have not seen win it.
How'd you feel about how she won it by handcuffing Bailey and who else did she handcuff? It was Bailey and I forgot who else.
Hey, that just showed like she was in it to win it.
Hmm.
Yeah, she was in it to win it.
Love me some EO boy. I was hyped.
So who do you see her facing? Do we see her facing Oscar? Do you see her facing um
Rhea.
or Rhea? I see
Well,
her facing Oscar.
you saw she tried to cash in on Oscar.
Yeah.
I think they have history together, so it'd be a good feud.
Hmm.
Um, but Oscar's literally got two other people that she's dealing with right now in Charlotte and uh
But
Bianca.
Bianca
And
Bianca
they
had bad blood with her too.
true. But you see the reason why, because I never understood this because I guess because they want to beat the person who's actually the champ currently is why
Hmm.
other people be stopping people's cash-ins if they're not involved in a match currently at the time.
Right.
Like Charlotte big booted EO with the briefcase after she tried to cash in on Oscar, and it's
Hmm.
just I just never understood that. Like, you got any feelings on that? About people stopping cash-ins?
Um, I think it puts them at the bottom of the barrel, like the bottom of the rankings now. And when they have a match, they're the number one contender, or they're trying to get to that number one contender. But if the person cashes in and wins the title, then that's not given that the challenger is going to have a title shot going forward.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And cause I know what Bianca's beef is. Bianca's beef is she wants to beat Asuka because Asuka, in her mind, Asuka cheated to beat her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mist, in the mist in her eyes. So
Yep.
that's why she interfered in the match on SmackDown to cost Charlotte the match because
Mm-hmm.
she said this ain't about you, this is about Asuka.
Yep.
So her beef is squarely with Asuka. Charlotte is just in her way.
Mm-hmm. Collateral damage.
Yeah, that's all that is. But yeah, I mean, so honestly, yeah, I could see Io going after Asuka. Only number one, they're on the same show, so it's easier to get to her.
Right.
But if she cashed in on Rhea, that's something that Rhea would never see coming
True.
because Rhea is too involved with Becky.
Judgment.
Becky's didn't talk to her. Now
Mm-hmm.
she's involved. We're gonna talk about this, the friction between the Judgment Day. So Rhea's mind isn't all the way there. Rhea beefing with Raquel. Raquel was talking shit to her on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I could see if she really did want to win it, then I could see her sneaking up on her. But do you think that when Io finally does cash in, because you saw Bailey was helping her. Bailey was trying
Mm-hmm.
to help her cash in.
Yeah.
Do you think that it will officially lead to the end of Damage Control when Io cashes in?
Yeah, because I feel like Bailey is probably going to con her way into a title match if Io wins.
Because you ever notice that whenever there's a faction that whenever someone other than the undisputed leader wins the championship, shit starts imploding. We saw with
Oh yeah.
Randy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we
Mm-hmm.
saw with Randy and Triple H,
Yep.
and Batista and Triple H.
Mm-hmm.
uh, nobody in the Shield ever held the title when they were together.
Nah.
Not when they were
Mm-mm.
together.
But
But
Seth
just
wanted it.
and then yeah, and then look at the Judgment Day. We're gonna get to them pretty soon. Damian Priest and Finn. Finn is the leader, and he's going crazy trying to get this title. But Priest has the Money in the Bank, so he can end up being the champion.
Yeah.
If just how do you think it? Just think about how it would be if, let's say, Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble and he beat Seth. So then you got Roman and Jay walking around with two titles, each having their own world title. It would cause
Mm-hmm.
friction because
It would.
you can't have two big dogs like
True.
that. Somebody
Oh,
has to, yeah.
I'm about to get to that when we talk about that because I got a point to make on that. And
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know when the women, other than Carmella, the women tend to cash in pretty quickly.
yeah, they do.
Like a lot of them have cashed in the same night.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see Io probably holding it for a while. I mean, it's really no
Yeah.
rush. There's really no rush.
Nope.
All right, and then next match was Seth freaking Rollins defeating Finn Balor.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts on that?
Um, I was upset. I wanted Finn to win, of course. We
Same.
talked about it on the watch along. I wanted Finn to win. Um, but
But it goes towards your Judgment Day theory, though.
yeah, it started the friction because technically Damian Priest caused the distraction for Finn to lose.
Because he looked like he was about to cash in.
Yeah, and it made Finn pause because Finn was about to win.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it was a good match though. It was a great match. Probably the best match of the night as a one-on-one match.
Yeah, because now I'm thinking, because it was definitely better than Cody and Dom.
Yeah,
I don't know. Riddle and Gunther was good. Gunther doesn't put on bad matches.
nah, but Finn and Seth was good.
It was really good. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
I felt bad for Finn because it's like this dude can't catch a break.
Mm-hmm. And now he's going back to NXT.
Mm-hmm. Who?
Judgment Day.
You think they going to NXT?
Well, they show up at NXT last night.
I don't know. I haven't been watching NXT. I'm gonna be completely
Yeah,
honest.
they took over NXT last night because remember Carmelo Hayes got in between his business and Seth business,
Oh yeah, yeah,
Finn and
yeah,
Seth
yeah.
business. So they all went there to handle that.
Hmm. Well, let's go ahead and get to the main event of the night, which was the Civil War, the Bloodline Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things happened in this match. A lot of things.
Too much.
We can start with the biggest. The biggest thing was Roman finally got pinned for the first time in 3 years.
And yes, I think that was the biggest moment.
And the person who pinned him was the last person that pinned him.
Exactly. And it was the same fashion from when he first pinned. Noticed Roman took his first pin against Jay when he was a part of the Shield.
Mm-hmm.
Because when they were so crazy,
Mm-hmm.
he was the first person to pin Roman. And
Yep.
now he is the first person to pin Roman in 3 years. So that's
In his God mode state.
right. So that's a big catalyst. The kick out heard across the world. I think that's what got me because it was in the same fashion that Roman kicked out and low blowed Jay
Mm-hmm.
for him to win. So that was big.
So people that
The
say that
tension,
WWE doesn't do storytelling, that right there is perfect storytelling. This whole thing was.
yeah.
But go ahead.
Hold on, give me a second. I gotta get the
All right.
charger.
All right. Well, while JD is gone and grabbing his charger, yeah, it was crazy because um Roman and Solo, I think they work well together as a tag team. Um, I actually predicted that Roman was going to take the pin because it just made more sense for storyline purposes. It made a lot of sense. Now, I will say that they made the Usos look crazy strong. Made them look crazy strong. Strong enough to the point where they probably shouldn't. It's like, how did they lose to Sammy and KO? Because they were taking spear after spear and took spikes, and it was just it was just a really good match. Um, my personal feelings are I'm not really sure where this story. Well, I see where the storyline's going now based off of what happened on the SmackDown after. Hold on, JD then left the stream. He'll be back. But I'm curious to see if they're going to continue with the Jey Uso is the going to be the new tribal chief. And I'm really interested to see when Rikishi's going to show up because I know he is. I just know he is. All three of his sons are involved. It just makes the most sense, and it would be something new for the storyline. I don't want to go. I don't want to get too far ahead because I want to speak about this with JD. I know he has a lot of thoughts, but the oh, I think he's back. Hold on. Okay, he's
All
back.
right, I'm back. Man, my computer like totally died.
Yeah, I wasn't really expounding too. I wasn't going expounding too much because I wanted to wait until you got back. I know you got a lot of thoughts.
Yeah.
I pretty much was saying it was crazy how strong they made the Usos look. Like they made them look strong enough to the point where it's kind of mind-boggling how they lost the tag titles because of how strong they've looked ever since they have lost them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what else? What else you got about?
Okay.
What else you got about this match?
Oh, I was talking about the tension um between Roman and Solo, right? So Solo was seeing Roman at his weak points, right? Because Roman just couldn't believe that the spear him, spike him, and stack him didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So that was causing tension. So it kind of made it look as though Solo started taking the lead and Roman was going off of Solo's lead. So that was a big point if people really paid attention to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But the match was great.
Mm-hmm. That was a main sequence. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head when Roman hit them with the double spear.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, you talk about when they got hit when they
Mm-hmm.
hit Roman with the double spear. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody got double
Yeah,
spear.
that was
Pause.
that was a good sequence too. Yeah, it was Roman got double spear by the Usos.
Okay. Yeah, and then
Yeah, that was a good sequence.
now going forward, how'd you feel about Roman's reaction? Roman's acting throughout this storyline has been perfect. What do you think about his reaction after losing on the side on the apron at the bottom on the floor, just going crazy?
Like I said,
Not believing that he actually got pinned.
yeah, that man, like he's showing that he's about to literally become an actor.
Hmm. He cried on the spot on Monday. I mean
Yeah,
on
like
Friday. So
exactly. Like you looking at this man, and it's like he could possibly be Maui in the live action Moana.
and then I loved him talking to Paul Heyman, talking shit about London. He's like, "Why am I
Hmm.
here? Like, what
And
am I
then
doing
Paul
here?"
Heyman. Oh, but even during the match, like Paul Heyman was saying that, do you want your children to sit at his table? That's what he wants. I was like, yo, like, okay, they making this jump personal. You know what I'm saying? So, but
Mm,
yeah, let's talk about the tribal court. What you think about the
okay,
tribal court?
I thought it was
What you think
hilarious.
about the tribal court?
I thought it was hilarious.
So
Like,
the part that got me is when Romans like took the layoff. He never gave him the championship. He threw the championship out the ring.
mm-hmm,
That was a big thing. He just gave him the leg, right? So that just showed for the good storytelling that they're doing that it's not about the championship. It's about being the head of the family, head of the table.
mm-hmm, yeah, because
You know, it is
it's never been about the championship for them.
yeah. So that brings me to my point. And the point that it brings me to is Roman. He's not losing the championship at SummerSlam, but Roman will be losing his championship to one individual.
And that would be
Bray Wyatt.
oh plot twist, and there's some news about Bray has just come out too.
Yes,
So he
sir.
would
Yes,
lose it to
sir.
the man,
It's gonna be Bray Wyatt
lose it to the man who he took it from, the one that started this whole thing
that started the streak.
with with him beating the Fiend,
Yep.
and he called him. He said, "You're not a monster. You just a freak in a mask." That was just what he said to him after he pinned him,
Yeah.
and that was That was the end of Bray. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the Fiend as we knew it.
Yep.
But going back to
So could we see Bray Wyatt's?
go ahead. Oh, I think you froze up.
What you were saying?
Oh, I was going
No, you said going back to what?
Oh yeah, I was about to say going back to the tribal court just real quick. How do you? Because this is the second time they've done one of these. How do you feel about these little courts that they be doing? Just real quick. Because the first one was about Sammy.
Uh-oh. Okay, so the tribal court, I just feel like it's extra promo thing. They don't have to do it. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like that they're making it seem like that they're above everything in wrestling.
Yeah, because the thing is, in all actuality, Roman has the final say, except he was put on court this time. But wasn't Jay put on trial?
Mm-hmm.
Jay was put on trial. Jimmy was put on trial. They've all literally been put on trial.
Sammy, no.
Yeah, Sammy was the first.
The trial was for Sammy.
I could have sworn they put Jimmy on trial too. Or that might have been like an impromptu one.
They didn't really call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't
like
impromptu. Yeah, it was. Yeah. But like Roman said, he said, I didn't call for tribal court, so why are we having a tribal court?
Mm-hmm. And you notice because, and then also going back to what you were saying before we get to the Bray Wyatt stuff,
mm-hmm.
Jay consistently says this because Jimmy agrees with him, but he's not as forward about it. Is Jay's always like, we still love you, cuz. We still love you, Oos. Like, it's all with them, it's all about respect. They just want respect. Yeah. Like, the crazy thing is, they would probably fall in line if Roman would just show them the proper respect. I really think that they would fall. They would fall in line.
Mm-hmm. And they would take them back with open arms.
They would. And that crazy thing is, going outside of wrestling, that happens a lot in just families and relationships in general. Like if the person being accused of the disrespect would just relax and start showing a little more respect, a lot of issues could be taken. I mean, handled.
Yeah.
But Roman's ego is so big that he won't allow himself to be talked down to by people that he feels he's superior than. Mm-hmm. So that's why even with all the fake crying that he be doing and all this other stuff, eventually the Usos have to realize that there's no winning with this guy.
Yeah.
He is what he is. He's been turned into the tribal chief. Like I'm rewatching it now. This like Roman really did just cry on cue. That shit was crazy. But go ahead.
Now, the point that got me is when Solo picked up the lay, the head of the table lay. And he looked at it and he did not give it to Roman. Well, it didn't show the part where he was because they got attacked, right?
Yeah, I'm watching the end of it now.
Word on the street is that Solo is supposed to be the next head of the table. They're building Solo up to be the leader of the Samoan dynasty. So I see all four of them in a match because Jimmy's going to turn on Jay because Jimmy wants it. Technically, Jimmy wants it because he's the next oldest. Jimmy wants to be the tribal chief.
Yeah,
He's verbally said it. He said, when it comes to this tag team, I am the tribal chief.
Yeah, well, because you got to think about it. If you look at the royal families and anything like that where a dynasty is involved, it's always next up is the oldest, unless they're a woman, unless they're a woman or some other stuff happens. The next oldest son or the next oldest whatever nephew, whatever, the next oldest male is supposed to be the next head of the table. So technically, it would be Jimmy.
Yeah, and then somebody on TikTok had pointed out the fact that Jimmy was looking at the leg the whole time. Like even when Roman put it on Jay's neck and shoulders, Jimmy kind of was like bent out of shape about it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think about it, Jay do look like he's older than Jimmy, but Jimmy's older.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I feel like that Jimmy's gonna turn on Jay, right? And then I
Mm-hmm.
feel like Solo's gonna turn on Roman, and we will have a free for all four of them in a match for the head of the table to be the tribal chief.
Not for the belt, but for the title of head of the table.
No, Roman won't even have the championship at this point.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then speaking of that, this is a real rumor heavy show because the rumors are that Jimmy's getting ready to leave the company.
Right.
Now, I don't know if that's because he's going to join his wife in Impact, or if he's just leaving. Well, I mean, I guess that's the only reason he would leave, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're a part of the biggest storyline in wrestling right now for the past 3 years. You have a prominent role. Your role has actually gotten bigger now. Now that Sammy isn't involved directly with the bloodline, because when Sammy was there, Jimmy kind of took us. Jimmy was the weakest link because Solo was the new guy. Jay had the friction with Sammy,
Mm-hmm.
and Roman was the guy. Was the guy. So Jimmy
Right.
kind of took a step back when Sammy was there. But
Yeah.
yeah, and then how do you feel about Jay challenging Roman? Because he's challenging him for the title, isn't he?
No,
Okay,
he
because he
never
was
said
holding
that.
it. He was holding the title when he challenged him. He was holding Reigns' new title.
Yeah, he never said that. He was just saying let's run it back, one on one. So I could kick your ass, but it wasn't confirmed that was for the championship.
And was it confirmed that it's going to be at SummerSlam, or is it going to be before then?
You said what?
Is it confirmed to be a SummerSlam match, or do you think
They
it's
haven't confirmed
match?
it yet in detail. No, no, no. It's definitely gonna be SummerSlam, but Roman just didn't. He never responded. It ended with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that part. But
Yeah.
so going, so do you think? What do you think Sammy and KO's involvement in the Bloodline story is going to be going forward?
Nothing.
I'm about to say because honestly, there's nothing else that they
They
really
keep.
need to do with them.
They keep. They, right. They keep questioning them every time they show like a Bloodline segment. They keep asking for their point of views. You know, they might be doing that just so KO like will flip out and be like, "Yo, can we get past this?" and stuff like that, and it might cause friction between KO and Sammy. But I don't think they're gonna have anything to do with that unless Jay and Jimmy decide to go after the tag titles again, which I don't think. I'm ready for the Street Profits to hold the titles.
Yeah. And speaking of Jay and Jimmy, see Jimmy got taken out on a stretcher because
Mm-hmm.
Roman was beating him with the stairs and all that, and then Solo was going
Yeah.
crazy on him.
So
So
he's gonna be written off for a little while.
yeah, so that's why. So Jay's going to be by himself now. He may recruit Sammy and KO just to have his back uh, when he faces
In that match.
Roman. Yeah, so he may recruit them like, "Yo, I need your help," because Jay and Sammy have still had
Yeah.
dialogue since then, and I think because
Mm-hmm.
I think the tension with Sammy and KO may come from the fact that Sammy is still so hyper focused on the bloodline. When they interviewed them
Yep.
before the match at Money in the Bank, he was like, Roman Reigns is about to get exactly what he deserves. Like he's so hell bent on Roman paying for his crimes that it could
Mm-hmm.
eventually take away from the tag team. I could see
Yeah.
Sammy and KO eventually dropping them belts, but it might be because Sammy may be distracted.
Yeah. Or like I could see something happening like collateral damage to where Sammy comes out to help Jay, KO comes out to help Sammy. Something happens to KO, and he was like, you know what? I'm tired of saving you because you want to get your nose in other people's business. This no longer involves us. Why do you keep
Hmm.
butting in that business?
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Like, let's
And
say
so,
that Jay gets jumped by Roman and Solo, and Sammy comes out to save him.
hmm and then they're getting beat up, and then KO's looking backstage, and he's like, "Oh, dang it, I gotta go out there and help Sammy." And then he goes out there and helps Sammy, and he gets beat up. So is that even though Sammy and KO like they helped Seth on Monday against Judgment Day.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, Sammy and KO
yeah,
got beef with a few people.
Imperium, Judgment Day.
Mm.
It is
Bloodline.
it's just they're finding just ways to keep them busy right now until I guess they get everything straight with how they about to divide these belts.
Hmm. And also, damn, I was just about to say it. Oh yeah, because you brought it up um, on probably the last stream that we did, because we talked about Cody and how we said that Solo won't be ready to go to the next level until he turns on Roman. So that could also lead
Mm-hmm.
to what you were saying. So yeah, I'm excited about that. But now that we're done with the uh Money in the Bank recap, let's talk about what's been going on here, man. There's been a lot of friction between a lot of factions in WWE. We got friction with Judgment Day, even though it looks like they may have come back together a little bit after the finish on Monday. But
Mm-hmm.
we just got finished speaking about the friction in the bloodline, which is been taking over the wrestling business. Then, if you noticed, Imperium got a little bit of friction now.
Mm-hmm.
And then let me see, we've been calling for the end of damage control for a minute. It's just hard to do that with Dakota being hurt, so they're not all there together. But
Right.
how do you feel about the
Next,
friction in a lot of these factions?
yeah, it's big, and next is gonna be LWO. See what it is that a lot of your top tier mid cards are linked up with top tier champions in factions, and they don't. Right now, it looks like that WWE doesn't have a lot of people, right?
Hmm.
Because we're seeing the same people, but we see the same people involved in factions, right? So when you're
Hmm.
looking at it and you look at the pay per views, you're like, oh, we got a pretty good lineup, but actually, these are all the same people that we've seen already on regular TV. So a lot of the people that they could put in mid card to, fight um Austin Theory and Gunther and stuff like that, they're all in factions.
Hmm.
They're all in factions. So it's like now I feel like that they're about to go ahead and start releasing some people from factions, not actually releasing them from the company, but ending a couple of these factions so we could get a lot more singles competition.
I agree. I agree because I don't know. I just love the fact that there were so many factions at the time, but now it looks like a lot of these factions are starting to run their course. LWO, I don't even consider them a factor in anything. Um, so I don't even think
Right.
about them anymore. Uh,
They're about to go. I think they're gonna go back to their old ways.
yeah, they need to be a heel faction, but
Yeah,
it's too much of a
and how they
Zelina has too much of a love affair with the fans right now.
yeah, but she I feel like that she could go back and forth. You know what I'm saying? And but
She could.
their key way of turning heel is definitely going to be kicking Ray out. for the LWO.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But
because they're gonna be like, we were on top, and we were on top until Ray got in our heads, and ever since you kind of took over, it's just like we haven't been winning nothing, and so I think that's coming.
yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm actually ready for that. But
Yeah.
you saw, what's her name? Rhea had to play Peacemaker between
Hmm.
Finn and Priest earlier in the
Yeah,
night.
and
As Finn
and
came out,
Priest
and
still,
he was pissed at Priest.
yeah, and Priest still, made it known like I got leverage because I got this briefcase. So regardless of the fact, whether you win or I cash in, somebody in Judgment Day gonna be a champion.
Mm-hmm.
I love the
Mm-hmm.
tension, love it. I love the tension, and I love the fact that they still work together. It just keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
But
So
it does serve the purpose where I think Rhea, because of the tension, that's when she's gonna go her separate ways.
you think she's gonna stay with Dom, or she's gonna have him leave with her, or she's gonna leave altogether?
She's gonna her and Dom gonna stick together. They're the modern day Latino Heat in China, so they're definitely gonna stay together.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Um, I don't necessarily want to see Imperium break up because I would love to see Gunther have his boys with him, uh, as with him as a world champion and them as like the tag champions. But
Hmm.
uh, and then also is rumor has it that the Brawling Brutes are going to break up, but I think they might just move them apart from each other. I don't think they're going to have any kind of friction.
Nah, I don't think they're gonna have friction. I know they were saying that once Butch gets like the U.S. title, he's gonna go back to Pete Dunne. Um, so
Hmm.
I think that'd be good for him. For his image again. I didn't like the fact that they made him Butch. When he came to the main roster, I feel like he should have maintained his character as Pete Dunne.
Yeah, and speaking of the U.S. title, you saw Theory beat Sheamus,
Yeah.
so that'd be another reason for Bush to go and try to take that title off of him.
Mm-hmm.
But did you have anything else with WWE before I finish up with some quick AEW stuff?
No.
All right. How do you feel about the MJF Adam Cole pairing? I'm watching Dynamite right now.
Yo, so that was probably the most funniest thing when
When he called
MJF
up to the
did
stream,
Adam Cole. Yeah, when he came out and he did Adam Cole's entrance with him. I
oh
feel
my
like
god, that was hilarious.
that was hilarious. And he was on point with it too. The whole boom. I was like,
And he threw his hands
yo,
up and he had the
Adam
mannerisms.
Cole, baby. Yeah. Like,
He was
so
running around the ring like he was Shawn Michaels.
yeah, it was like, how can the most hated heel in professional wrestling just get over as a face that quick?
Simple, because he's stupid. He has stupid charisma. Like
He
charisma
does.
is crazy. And if
Hmm.
he really wanted to be a face, he could be the top face in the company.
He could.
But but I just think it's hilarious how he's just how because I'm trying to think about who they remind me of. Um, because I want to say they kind of remind me of like a Jericho and KO
Hmm.
pairing
Oh, you talk about
with
with
the
the list
comedy.
and stuff.
Yeah, with the comedy and stuff.
Yeah.
You saw when MJF called into Adam Cole's Twitch stream,
Yeah.
and then he said, "Oh, what you doing? Playing video games like a nerd?" And then they literally just showed a video of them playing AEW Fight Forever because they were teaming up against FTR
Oh man.
because they're going to be teaming up in the Blind Eliminator tournament tonight against Big Bill and Brian Cage.
Mm.
So I like that. And then did you see looks like Orange Cassidy looks like he's about to have a match with Darby. I don't know if they're teaming up or
Ooh,
if it's a solo match. Now, if it's a solo match and Orange Cassidy wins, that means that he's still going to be the Intercontinental Champion. International. I keep saying Intercontinental. Jesus Christ. But did you see John Moxley recently spoke about the blood in AEW?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Here we go. It says here that John Moxley shared his honest thoughts on the blood, and this is what he said. I do think there's an issue for saying there's too much bleeding on the show. I think bleeding and blood is best when it's used in the correct spaces and not every single week. Hold on, I think this is Matt Hardy saying it.
Mm-hmm.
This is what Matt Hardy was saying. It doesn't need to be done too often because that'll kind of kill it. That hurts the effect as well. When blood happens in certain scenarios, it means so much more. What did Moxley say though? Because Moxley responded to that. But how do you feel about blood in AEW?
It's too much. Like, so then I was watching like all these people play AEW Fight Forever, right? And don't get me wrong, like the matches look legit, the bleeding looks good, and all of that. But it's like, it's just too much. It happens too much, and I think it just happens too much in Moxley matches.
Okay.
Like I don't mind it, but in every single Moxley match, he's pretty much bleeding. Like I told you before that, hey, that's too much. Like, dang. All right,
Moxley. Okay. This is what Moxley said. This is exactly what Moxley said. I got the quote. The point of the dissertation is that this is a combat sport, but we're not allowed to have blood in a match unless it's a personal grudge, ? We're only allowed to have blood after a 5-month grudge after someone slept with somebody's wife or somebody ran someone over with a car. And then, and only then, are we allowed to have this dramatic crimson mask that looks the exact same every single time. For me, realism-wise, since this is a combat sport, that means there is the potential for blood in every match. Everything in wrestling is preposterous to some degree, but this helps with the suspension of disbelief. I'm actually for less blood, but more often. If every single match on the card had a busted eyebrow or a bloody nose, it would just be a part of the sport. But some gory spectacle with blood shooting like a hose is pretty unnecessary. So how you feel about his
I agree with
quote?
that. Okay, so hearing him say it, I agree with the point that he tries to make, and maybe it's because as a fan that we saw it and then it got taken away, and then we saw it and then it got taken away, and now we're seeing it. So I guess with him, it's like I don't let my wounds heal, so that's why I bleed so much.
Mm-hmm. And it makes
And
sense
it's a
because
combat sport; it just keeps getting reopened.
exactly because look at it. In a UFC card or in a boxing match, which are combat sports where they're fighting, which is what wrestling emulates. There's blood in every match. So
yeah, almost.
Yeah, pretty for the most part.
Yeah.
So that's why I would say, oh, and this is a tag match. Darby and Orange Cassidy are tagging up against Sammy and Daniel Garcia.
Yeah, I'm watching
But
it. I hate Daniel Garcia's dance.
that little dance, well, he's a sports entertainer now, so he does stuff to entertain the crowd.
I know, right? The doggone Disco Inferno.
But yeah, I speak about that, and then also, I don't know if you saw Collision on Saturday, but
Uh-uh.
the ratings were actually up. A lot of people are giving credit to seeing the CM Punk versus Samoa Joe match, which I did watch.
Hmm. How
Um,
was it?
it was good. It was really good. CM Punk finally got a
Some
win
Mojo.
over Samoa Joe.
Oh, dang it! I was going for some Mojo.
Yeah. Now you know that CM Punk's he's not losing no time soon. Um,
Yeah.
but see, I told you. Well, I don't know if I told you this, but yeah, uh, you saw that Jay Wright, not Jay Wright, Jay White, he challenged CM Punk for the AEW championship that CM Punk carries around with him in that bag.
Mm.
Yeah, he said, "I want that." He said, "I want that title that you have," because he never gave it back.
Oh, right.
So technically, there's two AEW championships walking around out there because MJF has one, and then CM Punk has the other one that he never gave back.
So we
Now,
see
because
an AEW World Heavyweight Championship.
I don't think that they're going to involve Punk and MJF anytime soon. But
Yeah.
the fact that Jay White has acknowledged that he wants the belt that CM Punk has, that could lead to something.
Yeah, they could possibly create a new belt.
hmm And then I saw a story. Jade is not coming back to AEW anytime soon.
Mm.
She's enjoying her break.
Okay.
Uh, she was because she was. We talked about her 60 title defenses, but she actually held the belt days wise for like 500 something days.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So I guess maybe she's burnt out, or she just wants to break them. Maybe she wants to figure out
Spend
what her
time
next
with the
character is going
family.
to be. Yeah, all of the
Yeah.
above.
Right.
And then I finally, I just wanted to end with. So you know how we always say that AEW is copying WWE,
Mm, 60% of the time.
or we brought it up. Well, where did uh Money in the Bank just happen?
London.
And AEW's All Out on August 27th will be taking place from London in Wembley Stadium.
Very much so.
Now, do you think it's just a coincidence, or do you think they've already had it in the works?
I think that AEW already had it in the works. Sometimes I can see, okay, so Money in the Bank, they didn't let us know where the location of Money in the Bank was going to be until what, a month before Money in the Bank,
Mm-hmm.
like maybe 2 months. So it was kind of around the same time. The only difference that I see is that AEW's uh pay-per-views are like they book them so far out.
Mm-hmm.
WWE's is like, hey, we got the money, boom, we're booking it. 2 months, we'll be there. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's very immediate with them as opposed to AEW, who they'll book something and the freaking pay-per-view is not for 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
So I just tossed that up to how they promote it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And WWE, they could have it already booked out like a year in advance. It's just that we don't find out
Well, you
until.
saw the whole point of John Cena coming to Money in the Bank was to promote them doing a WrestleMania in London.
Yeah. So that's freaking a year and a half in advance.
Because that would be the first WrestleMania outside of the US, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because this year's WrestleMania, which
Is in
will be
Philly.
next year in 2024, would be in Philly. So yeah,
So
that's definitely like way in advance. So I kind of got to give the edge to WWE with that.
well, they've been doing it longer. So
And this isn't WWE's first pay per view in London
no,
because
it's not.
they did Clash at the Castle in London in the UK.
And they've also had some like back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
I think it was when it was I think Brock Lesnar fought The Rock at it.
Yep.
But yeah, man. Well, that's all I got. You got anything else?
No, that's all I got.
So before we get out of here, now as far as the YouTube videos and streams, this is not what number this is, but as far as our podcast, we have just finished recording episode 80. This is episode 80. So how you feel about that? We 80 in.
Guys, we've been doing this for 3 years, right? 3 years, 80 episodes. That's a long time.
Between scheduling conflicts and not being able to meet up and things like that.
Yeah.
And we've been able to still crank out 80 of these things.
Just stay tuned.
Yeah, man, stay tuned. Episode 100 is going to be crazy.
For episode 100.
Oh, you blink, we gonna be at 90 episodes.
Because if we keep going on a week consistency, every week, right? What I'm saying is, if we keep doing it every week, episode 100 will be around New Year's.
That's 20 episodes.
So tune in.
Yeah, tune in. All right, y'all. Well, make sure y'all go ahead and support this episode as well as others. You can go look at us on Spotify, Apple Podcasting, anywhere you listen to podcasts. Go ahead and shout us out. Give us a look. Sometimes I put polls up on these podcasts when I upload them. So go ahead and answer those. When you watch this video on YouTube, go ahead and like it. So that way it's good for us, and it'll also put us in your algorithm a lot more, so that way you won't miss us. Hit that subscribe bell for all new notifications. Every time we're about to go live, you'll get a notification. That's really all I got. This is your boy OTR Trey, aka Treyway, aka Money in the Bank Trey.
And this is your man 50 grand OTR Mic Drop, aka The Oracle.
Shout out to Ray and Jay. He couldn't be here today, but hopefully he'll be back on episode 81. All right. Peace, y'all.
Yes, sir.